Hi, Talia. I heard that you aren't feeling the best, and I hope that you start to feel better soon. Okay, so last week we finally got to our whole notes, yeah? And if we remember, whole notes are worth 4 beats, right? So now that we have a wide selection of notes to choose from, like our quarter notes and our half notes and our whole notes, I want to talk to you about how we actually are supposed to sustain these notes. Or, in other words, how long we're supposed to hold them for. And you might go, well, Mr. Jam, you've told me like a bunch of times quarter notes are worth 1 beat, half notes are worth two, and now our whole notes are worth four, right? Well, yes, but what I mean by that is we want to make sure we are holding our notes for their full value. And essentially, we want to get all of the bang for all of our buck on every time that we play a note, right? A lot of times, what will happen is people will play their notes and then they'll like cut it short, whether it be because they're prepping to get to the next note that they're playing or just because they're being a little absent minded about it. Oftentimes, people will cut their notes short, but we want to hold it for the full value. But how do we do that? Well, let's let's really think it out. Let's use half notes for example, right? Our half notes we know are worth 2 beats. 1 2, right? But say we have a couple of half notes, maybe one after another, or maybe a half note followed by any other kind of note. In order to hold it for a full 2 beats, we actually don't let go of our note until we get to where a next beat would happen. So, what the heck does Mr. Jam mean by that? I use my guitar for an example. So, I'm going to hold a half note and count out loud, and I'm going to tell you when I actually let it go. 1 2 off, right? 1 2 off. 1 2 off. 1 2 off. See, I'm holding it until the next beat would actually come in. That's how we make sure we hold it for an actual 2 beats versus like 1 beat and then most of another beat. Yeah. For quarter notes, one off, one off, one off, right? We let it go the moment that another beat would happen. So, what does that mean for our whole notes? Well, it means that it'll almost feel like we're holding our beat or our note for 5 beats, but we'll let go whenever the fifth beat would happen. So we go 1 2 3 4 off, 2 3 again, 1 2 3 4 off, 2 1 last time, 1 2 3 4 off, right? We're making sure that we hold it for all 4 beats by only releasing our note whenever a fifth beat would happen. We have to be very intentional about the way that we end our notes, just like we have to be intentional about the way that we start our notes, right? Very, very important concept. So, as you're working on Old MacDonald this week, I want you to really think about holding those beats for their full value, right? We spoke briefly about how the repeat sign works last time. Remember, there's two main rules. The first being that our repeat signs tell us to repeat only one time. The only time that's not the case is if it says so somewhere else on the page. The other rule about them is that unless it says otherwise, your repeat sign is telling you to go back to the beginning of the song in order to repeat. So you play through the first part, E-I-E-I-O, then you repeat again, and you go to the end, and after you finish with that whole note, you would move on to the next page. Also keep in mind switching between our right hand and our left hand. If you see the stem is going up, you'll use your hand that's on the brighter or upper part of the piano. If you see the stem is going down, you'll use your hand that's going lower or on the this going down or going on the lower part of the piano. Yeah? The darker part, if we will. Okay. I hope that you feel better really soon, Talia. I'll see you next time.